The CEO forcefully stripped off my floral pattern padded jacket, down inner layer, sweater, wool vest, and thermal undershirt, then began tugging at my thick cotton pants, woolen leggings, fleece-lined thermal underwear, thermal stockings, and long socks. Upon seeing there were still 2 more layers of ultra-thin knitwear inside, the CEO fell silent, staring at the domineering CEO who was now sweating profusely. I asked, trembling with fear, "President Gu, should we continue?" The domineering CEO Gu Size waved his hand and said, "You may leave." I seemed to have lost that impulse. I heaved a sigh of relief. The damn drug's effects had finally worn off. Then I scrambled away in panic, but not before putting on my floral pattern padded jacket, down vest, sweater, wool vest, thermal undershirt, thick cotton pants, woolen long johns, fleece-lined leggings, thermal stockings, and knee-high socks, 4 days ago. I transmigrated into this trashy novel titled, The Adorably Clueless Little Wife and the Overbearing CEO's Extreme Pampering. Fortunately, I'd read this trashy novel before and was quite familiar with its plot. Plus, I had a system to boot. Unfortunately, the system assigned me the task of conquering the domineering CEO. As long as I successfully conquer him, I can return to my original world. Holy shit, are you kidding me? Return to my original world? Hell no, I don't want to go back at all. In my original world, I was not only an orphan raised in a welfare institution since childhood but also born with a disability that left me unable to walk. But here, I'd become an ordinary girl named Hu Yuyu. Though my family is a bit poor, I'm dearly loved by both parents, and most importantly, I have all my limbs intact. I can run, jump, and cause all sorts of mischief. I absolutely refuse to go back. That's why I must ensure the domineering CEO Gu Size doesn't develop even the slightest bit of affection for me. But damn this godforsaken system, why should I follow your script? The plot I just went through was originally about a domineering CEO being drugged. When Sticky Note Girl Hu Yuyu accidentally enters his room, sparks fly, and things get indescribable. Fortunately, I'm quick-witted and remembered that besides that method to counteract the drug's effects, sweating could also help relieve it. So this absolutely brilliant Hu Yuyu wrapped herself in layer after layer of clothing until she looked like a giant zongzi. "Aren't you going to strip me? Work yourself to death." Leaving the domineering CEO's room, I hummed a tune, skipping along the way, feeling nothing but sunshine and boundless brightness in life. Little did I expect, at that very moment, the system emitted a beep notification sound. "Congratulations, host. Tyrant CEO Gu Size's favorability toward you has increased to 1%. I was shocked. What's going on? Impossible. The system must have made a mistake. Damn system, what's happening? The system's annoyingly smug voice chimed in. When Tyrant CEO Gu Size was pulling off your fleece-lined thermal pants, he was reminded of his long-departed grandmother and felt an inexplicable closeness to you. Hence the natural boost in favorability. Beep beep beep. The above censored sounds represent my furious cursing at this broken system and that damn domineering CEO. That's right, I cursed like a sailor, filthy dirty words. After returning home, I sat on the bed deep in thought when suddenly inspiration struck. A mischievous idea came to mind. Wait, no, a brilliant idea. In the original story, the reason Hu Yuyu caught the domineering CEO's attention wasn't just because they accidentally had physical relations. Most importantly, Hu Yuyu was honest and kind-hearted, always getting bullied at the company, which stirred up Guzi's overwhelming protective instincts. As for me, the new and improved Hu Yuyu, I'm neither honest nor kind-hearted, and I absolutely love stirring up trouble. Now that I've arrived in this fictional world, there's no way anyone's going to bully me. The only one doing any bullying around here will be me. Then as long as I go all out and strive to be myself, properly dealing with those workplace bullies who tormented the original host, that dog-blood CEO Gu Sija will surely not only fail to develop any affection for me, he'll probably detest me thoroughly. The more I thought about it, the happier I became, until I actually burst out laughing involuntarily. Hu Yuyu, a voice suddenly sounded behind me, nearly scaring me to death. That voice was unmistakable. The legendary deep, magnetic bubble voice. Such a Mary Sue voice naturally came from the domineering CEO Gu Size. At this moment, my eyes were as wide as copper bells. Oh my God, what's going on? President Gu, why are you in my house? Are you still under the effects of the medicine? Did you chase me all the way here? Isn't this too much? I exclaimed in shock. Hearing my words, Goose Eyes actually blushed furiously. Stop it, what the hell are you blushing for? Don't turn red, ding, system notification. The domineering CEO's favorability has increased to 5%, he was shocked. System, detected that host's words made the domineering CEO recall his own impulsiveness and shame, heart rate rapidly accelerating, favorability increased. I said, this shit can actually make his heart race. Goose couldn't possibly be a virgin. Shut up, fine, I am, don't tell anyone. Goose Eyes rushed forward, covering my mouth with his large hand, his eyes darting away. Ah, I'm dead. I fucking blurted out my thoughts. I freaking told the domineering CEO to his face that he's a virgin. Seeing the CEO's ears turn completely red, my heart sank into utter despair. Sure enough, the familiar notification sound chimed. System, beep, detected that the domineering CEO's favorability toward you has increased to 10%. Oh my gosh. You're seriously the fastest host I've ever seen at raising favorability. Me, beep beep beep. This is profanity, censored for you. I raised my eyes and shot the fiercest glare at the domineering CEO, determined to make it clear with my gaze, I'm not interested in you, buddy. The domineering CEO also looked at me. Wait a minute, something seems off. A gentle large hand covered my mouth, my breath warming his palm. Hot, warm, ticklish, our eyes met, close enough to see the fine hairs on each other's faces. Damn, no wonder he's the domineering CEO in novels. Those sharp brows and starry eyes, that tall nose bridge. Those thin lips, handsome, fucking handsome. I couldn't help but swallow hard. No way. Who you? Calm down, absolutely not. Right now, his face was flushed red, and all I could hear beside my ear was his noticeably quickened heartbeat. Plop, plop. Suddenly, I saw countless pink bubbles emerging behind the domineering CEO, me, internally. System, what's going on? System, host, can't you tell? You've triggered the atmosphere effect. Haven't you read comics before? When the male and female leads gaze at each other in comics, pink bubbles or flowers appear as the background. I said, isn't this a novel? System, this novel has been adapted into a comic too. I said, you damn cat, beep beep, censored. System, detected that the domineering CEO's favorability towards you has increased to 15%. Without hesitation, I opened my mouth wide and sank my teeth hard into Goose Eyes' hand. You're supposed to be a domineering CEO. Can't you be more reserved? Don't fall for people so easily. Goose Eyes hissed in pain and finally released his grip. Those annoying pink bubbles in the background vanished at last. Thank goodness. Why did you bite me? Goose Eyes frowned angrily. Even though you're my boss, you can't break in illegally. This is my home. I came to compensate you. Someone drugged me today. That's why I almost. The domineering CEO seemed to recall something, his face turning red again. Compensate me. This tycoon actually has a conscience. All he did was take off my fleece-lined thermal pants. He didn't even do anything else. Yet he wants to compensate me. Suddenly, I had another devilish, brilliant idea. Damn it, this was the perfect opportunity to blackmail the domineering CEO. That's right, I was going to make him understand that who you is nothing but a greedy, heartless villainess. My eyes gleamed with mischief. Yes, you must compensate me. Otherwise, I'll tell the whole world. I'll ruin your reputation. Goose brows furrowed again. He must truly despise me now. How much do you want? How about I give you 10 million? My heart was boiling. This was indeed a melodramatic novel, casually throwing around 10 million like it was nothing. Who on earth wrote this? But following this logic, 10 million probably doesn't even count as much money in this novel, does it? I shook my head. Not enough. The domineering CEO, 20 million. I shook my head. The domineering CEO, 30 million. I shook my head. The domineering CEO suddenly grabbed my chin. I know what you want now, me. The domineering CEO, humph, woman, what you want is me. I said, I'm not, I don't need this. The CEO curled his lips into a smirk. No need to explain, I understand perfectly. When women say no, they mean yes. I've never met a woman who didn't want money but only sought my attention. Well done, you've successfully caught my interest. I said, how about you just give me 10 million instead? The domineering CEO patted my shoulder. Starting tomorrow, you'll be my personal assistant. We'll work side by side. I'm giving you this chance to get close to me. With that, the CEO walked away smiling. thoroughly pleased with himself, leaving me alone with my aching heart, my $10 million. Die, you cliché domineering CEO, ding, system notification. The domineering CEO's favorability toward you has increased to 20%. Die, you cliché system. You am absolutely not a woman who admits defeat easily. Now that I've become the CEO's special assistant, I'll use my position to bluff and bluster, determined to avenge the original host properly, making those petty bitches who bullied the original host daily experience life's hardships will surely make that cliché domineering CEO detest me. Sort out this entire stack of documents for me. You, go buy me a cup of coffee, yes, from that coffee shop farthest away. You, go make fresh copies of these materials. I stood with arms akimbo, swaggering through the office while the common folk seethed with silent resentment. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a woman teetering toward me on 10-centimeter heels. This madwoman, walking like a cat in heat, was none other than Lu Weiwei, the sales department manager. From what I knew, in the original story, Lu Weiwei had bullied Hu Yuyu relentlessly because she fancied the domineering CEO Gu Sai's. Lu Weiwei could be considered the main perpetrator tormenting Hu Yuyu. As Lu Weiwei approached, my body actually started trembling uncontrollably. It seemed the original host was truly afraid of her. Well, just got promoted and already putting on such airs, anyone would think you're the CEO. Lu Weiwei's affected voice rang out. That's right, who knew the CEO liked me so much, specially promoted me and even made me their personal assistant. I mimicked Lu Weiwei's tone, speaking with exaggerated affectation. You, Lu Weiwei flushed red with anger. I immediately continued, you came just in time. The CEO wants cake, specifically Black Forest chocolate, not the one downstairs, but from that decade-old shop 2 blocks away. As I said this, I had already caught sight of Gu Sai's figure. Clearly, Lu Weiwei, that little drama queen, had noticed too, suddenly adopting a sweet, aggrieved tone. Oh, of course I'll listen to the executive assistant. Even though I'm the sales manager and this errand has nothing to do with me, if the CEO wants it, I'll go buy it no matter how far it is. I watched Lu Weiwei putting on her act with amusement, thinking to myself, the better you perform, the better. I'd prefer Gu Zi to dislike me even more, so I continued my triumphant display. Hurry up and go buy it. While speaking, I secretly glanced at Gu Zi from the corner of my eye. Sure enough, Gu Zi couldn't hold back anymore. He walked over and gave my shoulder a firm pat. On your first day of promotion, you're already assigned so much work. You've worked hard. I understand you want to share my burden. What the hell? Did Gu Sai's brain get swapped? Understanding difficulties. What burden have I shared for you? Gu Sai's turned to look at Lu Weiwei again. Hurry up and go. That cake shop requires queuing. Yi was shocked. Lu Weiwei was shocked. Me, internally. System. The CEO's gone mad. What's going on? System, host, don't freak out. The CEO's been wanting to crack down on employees slacking off at work for a long time. Who knew you'd help him achieve it right after your promotion? And, host, you're amazing. How did you know the CEO secretly loves that Black Forest cake from the 10-year-old shop? It wasn't even mentioned in the original novel. How did you figure it out? I freaking don't want to talk. The CEO suddenly said, Special assistant, come to my office. I shakily walked into the office. President, what's wrong? You. How do you know my preferences? You investigated me. You care about me this much. The president's gaze burned intensely, his ears turning red. The air was absolutely thick with ambiguous signals. Damn it all. Whatever, I'm going for broke. Gritting my teeth, I said, I was the one who wanted the cake. I deliberately sent Lu Weiwei to buy it because I have issues with her and wanted to bully her. Gu Sai's pondered for a moment before nodding slowly. After a long pause, he finally said, I see. You may leave now. My heart leaped with joy. This jerk must surely hold a grudge against me now. Cheerfully, I skipped out of the CEO's office. Little did I know, inside the office, the domineering CEO Gu Sai's heart was pounding like thunder, his ears burning crimson. The domineering CEO rubbed his forehead. Lu Weiwei has feelings for me. No wonder Yuyu's been in a bad mood. I should transfer Lu Weiwei somewhere far away. Yuyu. She even wanted to share a piece of cake with me. Images flashed through his mind. Yuyu nestled in his arms, gently feeding him with a fork. The two of them sweetly intimate. He noticed cream at the corner of Yuyu's mouth, and they slowly leaned closer. Ding! System detects the CEO's favorability toward you has increased to, shut up. Hu Yu suddenly slammed her desk and stood up mid-work. The office instantly fell silent. I quietly took my seat, thinking, today's not my lucky day. Better stay away from Gu Sai's. No sooner had I made this silent vow than the CEO's call came through. Assistant, come to my office immediately. It's urgent. Swallowing hard. It's fine, just assigning work. Upon entering the office, I saw Gu Sija's icy expression, clearly in a bad mood. My heart leaped with joy. Finally, the domineering CEO is back to normal. Exactly, a domineering CEO should have this frosty aura. He's unhappy now, which means I have a chance to make him even unhappier. Come here, the CEO's voice rang out, devoid of warmth. What can I do for you, President Gu? I deliberately walked at a snail's pace. Since Gu Sija was in such a hurry, it must be urgent. Perfect timing for me to slack off at work. Just one. Gu Sija suddenly avoided my gaze. What do you mean, just one? I glanced at Gu Zi's desk and noticed, amidst piles of documents, the most eye-catching item was an interview file. Suddenly, it all made sense. The plot had already progressed to this point. Isn't this interview file from the original story belonging to the deeply affectionate second female lead, ML.But I? When reading the original novel, she was my favorite character. Not only was she beautiful and wealthy, with top-notch professional skills, but she was also Gu Zi's childhood sweetheart who harbored profound feelings for him. I really couldn't understand what madness possessed the original author. How could such an amazing second female lead fail to capture even a shred of the domineering CEO's attention, while the utterly unremarkable female protagonist ended up as the ultimate winner in life? This is utterly ridiculous, according to the current plot. The second female lead should have returned from studying abroad and submitted her resume to the domineering CEO's company to pursue him. The CEO's mother, wanting to matchmake the two, eliminated all other candidates, leaving only the second female lead. In reality, given the second female lead's capabilities, she didn't need any backdoor connections. By pulling strings, Mrs. Gu actually made Gu Sai's develop an aversion toward her. I still remember Gu Sija's classic line to the female lead's rival, I just don't like scheming women like you. What I adore are pure-hearted and kind girls like you. Just thinking about this scene makes my chest ache with anger. My poor darling rival, this time, I'll be the one to protect your happiness. I quickly leaned in. What's wrong with just one? One is perfect. We only need this one. I don't know if it's my imagination, but the domineering CEO's face instantly flushed red. You're right, one is enough. We'll share. The domineering CEO's lips curled slightly into a faint smirk. Share? What the hell? Did the CEO notice my motherly affection for the female lead's rival? How the fuck can we share this, you beast? While I was still lost in thought, a rich sweetness suddenly filled my mouth. My eyes widened. The domineering CEO was feeding me cake. Lu Weiwei bought the cake back so quickly. What talent! Before I could react, the CEO used the same spoon he fed me with to take a bite himself. He even licked the spoon. When he licked the spoon, his gaze seemed somewhat ambiguous. As his Adam's apple bobbed, I couldn't help but swallow hard. So, one, referred to the number of spoons. CEO, you're being unhygienic. Gu Sija's spoon came towards me again, and I took several steps back. No need, Mr. Gu, you can eat it yourself. As I spoke, I reached out to block it, and the cake smeared all over my hand. Seeing my panic, Gu Sai seemed to indulge in his fantasies again. Are you blushing? No, not at all. President Gu, you shouldn't. Before I could finish saying, this isn't hygienic, Gu Sai pulled me forcefully toward him. Stumbling, I fell straight into his arms. I'm really telling you, Gu Sai smells amazing. I must emphasize that I'm not some lovesick girl, definitely not a pervert or anything. It's just that Gu Sai's scent is truly intoxicating, a crisp, cool woody fragrance that's making me feel a little dizzy. I wanted to push him away, but my hands were covered in cake. Gu Sai grabbed my hand. His was so big, so large and warm. Are you in such a hurry? You practically threw yourself at me. It was clearly you who pulled me over. The next second, his face drew closer, and I heard the pounding of a heartbeat, though I couldn't tell if it was mine or his. He took my hand to his lips, his tender mouth enveloping my fingers, his tongue seemingly giving them a lick. My fingers tingled and burned. Such a strange sensation. My face flushed crimson in an instant. my ears burning hot too. Logically speaking, I should have slapped him right then, but damn it, he's just too good looking. For that fleeting moment, I'll admit, I was totally lusting after his beauty. What are you doing? I resisted the temptation of his good looks and pulled my hand away. You, there's cream on your hand. Goose Eyes looked at me with a half-smile. Ash said, and on your lips too. His eyes fixed on my lips, the burning gaze seeming ready to devour me instantly. Well now, my heart wasn't just racing wildly, it was about to explode. So, I made an audacious decision. The moment Goose Eyes' face leaned in, I gave him a resounding slap. A loud smack echoed through the air. Perhaps Goose Eyes' office was too spacious. I could practically hear the reverberations of that slap bouncing off the walls. Then I quickly slipped away without looking back. Goose Eyes, don't even think about seducing me. You will absolutely never leave this novel. I'm going to survive here. Don't ruin this for me, scumbag. In the CEO's office, Goose Eyes covered his face in deep thought. After a long silence, he suddenly muttered to himself, damn system, get out here. I quit. I genuinely like you. I don't want to leave this crappy novel anymore. System, dear esteemed author, according to regulations, you must follow the original plot and develop smoothly with you, make her fall in love with you, and give the novel a perfect ending. When her affection toward you reaches 100%, the system will automatically eject you back to your original world. Goose-Seja, then how much does you like me right now? System, detected that Huyu's affection towards the host has reached 70%. Victory is within reach. Goose-Seja frowned. If Yu truly fell in love with him, he would have to leave. For the first time, he regretted abruptly changing the story's ending in the original world, separating the male and female leads, which had enraged fans. The resentment of those fans had somehow formed a new world and dragged him into it. And now, Goose Eyes has fallen in love with a character he created, becoming someone trapped within his own book. For several days in a row, I've felt irritable and gloomy, as if something were weighing heavily on my chest. The strangest thing is, whenever I'm idle, my thoughts inevitably drift back to Goose Eyes. I remember the warmth of his tongue when it touched my fingers, remembering his burning gaze, recalling the moment his large hand touched my lips. Damn it, it must be because I slapped him a few days ago. Afraid he'll seek revenge. That's definitely it, I thought, with his terrifyingly high pride as a domineering CEO. He'd come back to confront me immediately after I hit him, yet unexpectedly, the very next day, the domineering CEO went straight on a business trip. As Goosey's personal executive assistant, I fucking didn't even receive any notice about his business trip. Those little bitches at the company are gossiping again. Mr. Goo went on a business trip without his executive assistant. Looks like the assistant has fallen out of favor. I heard he took that new beauty they just hired. You mean ML.But I? That genius designer newly recruited by the design department. Exactly. I heard Miss M.O. is President Goo's childhood sweetheart. They're practically a match made in heaven. If you ask me, this isn't a business trip, it's practically a date. ML.But I, my heart skipped a beat. The female lead ML.But I went on a business trip with Goose Eyes. No way. In the original novel, Goose-Seja flew into a rage precisely because his mother helped the second female lead pull strings. What's going on? Has the plot derailed? Well, since they're together now, you can happily live out my life in this book's world. Tonight calls for a proper celebration. Yo, assistant Who, what are you crying about? What's wrong? So heartbroken over losing favor, that ugly woman Lu Weiwei suddenly popped up. Are you insane? You're the one crying. I wiped my face. What the hell? Why am I covered in tears? I frantically wiped my face. Damn it. Why do these tears keep coming the more I try to wipe them away? My heart feels so heavy, as if being tightly gripped by a hand. It must be the original owner, just like how my body trembles uncontrollably when seeing Lu Weiwei. The original owner liked Goose Eyes. That's why tears flow from my eyes. Yes, that's exactly it. After work, I rushed into the bar without stopping. It's okay, don't be sad, dear original owner. Let me show you the world. What's the big deal about men? There are plenty more where that came from. What's that saying again? The cure for a broken heart is a new love. That being said, for some reason, none of the men in this bar seem appealing to me. This one has a handsome face, but his physique isn't great. That one has a good body, but he's too short. This tall, handsome guy with 8-pack abs has no taste. His outfit's hideous. picking through the crowd at the bar. Everything grew more tedious until I was just mindlessly drowning myself in drinks. In my old world, as someone disabled and chronically ill, I never even had the chance to visit places like this. See how happy I am now, sipping cocktails here, checking out men. None of these men were as good-looking as Goose Size. How handsome Goose Size was, those sculpted brows and eyes, those impossibly dark pupils, that upright posture, those pectoral muscles, that narrow waist. I couldn't help but swallow hard. I must be drunk. Why did the man storming toward me look so much like Goose Eyes? The man suddenly grabbed my hand. What the hell are you doing? Who you? How dare you come to a place like this? My vision blurred from alcohol. Who does this guy think he is? Just because he looks like Goose Eyes, he thinks he can boss me around. I'm here to check out men. What's it to you? Squinting, I leaned closer until my boozy breath hit his face. None of your damn business. I'm not just looking. I'm gonna touch too. After waiting for so long, I've finally spotted a man as handsome as Goose Eyes. Well then, I won't hold back. I reached out and grabbed his pectoral muscles. Damn, gotta say, they felt amazing. He raised an eyebrow. Woman, you're playing with fire. What's going on? This guy talks like some cheesy domineering CEO from a soap opera. I laughed, laughing so hard I swayed drunkenly, wrapping my arms around his neck and giving his ear a gentle nibble. What's wrong with lighting a fire? Not only will I light it, I'll set a damn blaze. His ears turned red. Ah, how familiar, just like Goose Seizure. Blushing so easily at the ears. Fine, you said it yourself. Don't come crying regret later. The man picked me up horizontally. I was deeply drunk, my whole body limp, completely at his mercy. He carried me to the car and reclined the seat. His warm breath fanned across my face as our body temperatures rose rapidly. Up close, he resembled Goose Eyes even more. Even his scent was similar, that cool woody fragrance. I wrapped my arms around his neck, nuzzling my nose against his nape. You smell so good. What cologne are you wearing? It's so fragrant. The man chuckled lightly. You little tease. Before I could defend myself, lips pressed against mine. So hot, so fragrant. The intoxicating scent completely enveloped me, its flavor lingering on my tongue. My lips are chapped, but I still want to keep smelling this scent. My clothes are torn too, but I still want to inhale this fragrance. A fire keeps churning relentlessly in my chest. Really, how strange this is. Suddenly, a voice echoed in my mind. Ding, system notification, your target's favorability toward you has increased to 90%. Target, what the hell is this? The moment my pants were tugged, the system notification startled me, instantly clearing my foggy mind. My eyes widened. Holy crap, how could this guy resemble Goose Eyes? Isn't he exactly Goose Eyes? Bang, without mercy, I slapped him again. Goose Eyes was completely stunned by my blows. Who are you? What's gotten into you? Addicted to fighting? I couldn't be bothered to explain. Pushing him away, I quickly threw on my clothes, zipped up my pants, and fled the scene. This is so mortifying. What was I thinking? We're in a car, for heaven's sake. Damn it. After I fled, Goose Eyes clenched his fists and muttered to himself. Who you? What should I do with you? I deliberately avoided you, but I just can't stand you going after other men. What should I do? Ding. System notification. Their affection toward you has reached 95%. Shut up, Goose Seizure in the car and I, who had just escaped, spoke in unison. For the next several days, I deliberately avoided Goose Seizure. I don't know if it was just my imagination, but Goose Seizure seemed to be avoiding me on purpose too. Sometimes, I even thought it might be nice if we could just maintain this distance, seeing him every day without getting too involved. This way, I wouldn't have to worry about completely winning him over, yet could still catch glimpses of him from afar. My own thoughts startled me. Oh no, there's something seriously wrong with me. Am I being assimilated by the original host? How do I feel? It seems like I'm starting to, like Goose Seizure. I went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face to sober up. Suddenly, the system beeped. Ding, system reminder. You must now complete the plot mission. The domineering CEO gets trapped in a dark room, and the delicate wife risks herself to save him. Original host must complete this plot without fail. My eyes widened. Wait a minute, this plot twist couldn't possibly be about the domineering CEO being tricked by Lu Weiwei and locked in the company's storage room. Lu Weiwei originally planned to stage a damsel saving the hero scenario, but she never expected to lock Hu Yu in there as well. So there they were, the domineering CEO and his delicate wife Hu Yu, alone together, in pitch darkness, sparks flying non-stop for 3 whole hours. After coming out of the dark room, the domineering CEO publicly announced Hu Yu's status. Damn, this is a crucial plot point that advances their relationship. Lost in thought, he suddenly heard the gentle voice of the second female lead, ML.But I, do you need tissues? Your clothes are all wet. Ah, my female lead number 2, so beautiful. Gentle and adorable, even though she heard about the domineering CEO and Hu Yu's situation as soon as she joined the company, she harbored no hostility toward me. She only wanted fair competition. Thank you. I took ML.But I's tissue. At that moment, another mischievous idea popped into my head. Just if, it hadn't been me locked in that dark room with the domineering CEO, but ML.But I instead, would the story have taken a different turn? With this realization, everything suddenly became clear to me. But the moment I stepped out of the restroom, I heard that Lu Weiwei had been transferred to a branch office by Gu Sai's. I was shocked. With Lu Weiwei gone, who's going to complete the mission of locking up the domineering CEO in the storeroom? How am I supposed to move forward with my storyline now? I frowned gloomily, pondering for days until finally arriving at the date when the domineering CEO in the original story was supposed to be locked in the dark room. At last, I came up with a solution. I would take Lu Weiwei's place in doing the bad deed. On this day, the domineering CEO suddenly received a message. President Gu, it's Hu Yu, I'm locked in the storage room. This message was originally sent by Lu Weiwei. If the CEO had been calm enough, he would have realized, why would Hu Yu message him from an unfamiliar number? But the domineering CEO couldn't stay calm. After all, he'd already developed feelings for Hu Yu at this point. Now that there was no Lu Weiwei, this message from his mother was actually sent by me personally, making it even more convincing. Sure enough, the domineering CEO rushed to the storage room without delay. What the CEO didn't know was that instead of me, the storage room only contained ML.But I, who had been similarly tricked into going there. Gusi had barely stepped inside when I kicked the door shut behind him. Okay, now everything's perfect. Next, the domineering CEO should proceed with ML.But I to act out that passionate scene. According to the original plot, they should be whispering sweet nothings and pouring their hearts out to each other. Then they'll press against that stack of documents in the storage room and go at it like rabbits. The dim lighting heightened their senses. For 3 full hours, they remained entangled, passion unquenched. What beasts? Was the original author some kind of animal? Why describe such things? My face feels a bit itchy, and when I wipe it, it's all tears. I'm so miserable. Damn it, Goose Eyes, you're not a man. Are you really going to follow this plotline with ML.But I? Then again, you're just a fictional character. Of course you have to follow the plot, but I'm so miserable, Goose Eyes, I'm so miserable. I leaned against the storage room door. It was so cold, the chill seemed to seep right into my bones. Suddenly, I felt weightless. The storage room door swung inward, and I fell backward, crashing into a solid chest. Goose Eyes groaned, damn girl, you're heavy. I was shocked. President Gu, how did you open the door? Goose Eyes shook the key in his hand. This door opens from both sides. I have a key, I gasped. Where's ML.But I? I had someone call her away. Did you need her for something? Gu Sija looked at me with a faint smile, holding me tightly as his nose brushed against my face. You want to lock me in there with her? No, I didn't, I exclaimed in shock. Gu Sija pulled me inside, slammed the door shut, and tossed the key out the window. Ah, what are you doing, Gu Sija? Why did you throw the key away? Gu Sija's large hand caressed my face, his gaze locking onto me as he said, You're not Hu Yu. My heart pounded wildly, as if it might leap out of my throat. I turned my head away. President Gu, I don't know what you're talking about. Gu Sija's hand gently touched my ear again, his dark eyes seeming to draw me in. You're not Hu Yu. If you were Hu Yu, you wouldn't try to push me toward another woman. My ears were burning, and my voice trembled. President Gu, I really don't know what you're talking about. Gu Si's bit my ear, his breath hot against my neck, sending shivers down my spine. You know the plot, don't you? Then tell me. What did Hu Yu and Gu Si's do next in this storage room? My entire body trembled as scenes from the original novel's explicit descriptions flooded my mind. Aw, I'm going to explode. What's happening? Gu Si's turned my face towards him, gently caressing it as his face drew closer. I heard him whisper softly, Didn't you want to follow the plot? Then let's begin. My lips were covered, my legs went weak. I couldn't stand it all. Goose Size wrapped his arm around my waist. Pulling me into his embrace, I tried to push him away, but he pinched my waist instead. I gasped aloud. My legs grew weaker still, but the sound that escaped was utterly suggestive. My face turned even redder. Stop that. Just as he was about to pull at my clothes, I finally surrendered and shouted, all right, I'm not who you. Stop your hands, and your mouth too. Goosey laughed aloud, his eyes sparkling like a galaxy of stars. Finally caught you, now tell me your name. I nervously clutched my sleeve. Oh my goodness, I must be the most undignified transmigrator ever. What if the male lead discovers my identity? I swallowed hard. I'm really not who you. In my original world, I was an orphan with disabilities who grew up in an orphanage. The director named me Fusheng, Fu from orphanage, but coincidentally, my nickname happened to be Little Yuzi. I know this sounds absurd, but actually, this is a book's world, and you're my target too. Before I could finish speaking, the system's notification chime rang in my ears. Ding, congratulations host, the domineering CEO's affection for you has reached 100%. You've completed the conquest mission. It's over. My heart skipped a beat. I've completed the mission. Does that mean I'll be taken back to my original world? Extreme fear flooded my heart, more than leaving this place. I couldn't bear the thought of leaving Gu Sija. I had to admit it. I liked him. I held Gu Sija tightly in my arms, wanting to confess my feelings to him before leaving. Gu Sija, I like you. I really like you. I'm sorry for making you like me. I'm sorry I have to leave. I'm sorry. Gu Sija hugged me back just as tightly, and I could hear the powerful beating of his heart resonating through his chest. His soft laughter came from above me. Silly girl, we'll meet again, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter your physical condition. I'll come find you. Remember my name, I'm Gu Sija. And my pen name is White Egret Gentleman. Then, my mind was in complete chaos, as if my body were weightless. When I opened my eyes, it felt like waking from a deep dream. I'm back. I climbed out of bed, but my legs had no strength. I couldn't walk. I had returned to the original world. A book lay quietly on the table. Yes, it was that very same melodramatic novel. Tears streamed down my face as I flipped through the novel. Goose Eyes, will I never see you again? Suddenly, I noticed the author's name on the cover, White Egret Gentleman. That voice echoed in my mind. We'll meet again. Remember my pen name, White Egret Gentleman. Just then, someone forcefully pushed the door open, and my eyes widened in shock. The heart was pounding fiercely. It was him. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. To make room for my sugar daddy's white moonlight, I very considerately scheduled a painless abortion. Just as I was about to swallow the preoperative pills, a tiny milky voice suddenly exploded in my head. Mom, don't swallow it. This is a new account. Don't get it banned. Your dad is that Beijing Circle's crown prince, the ultimate simp. I'm the only seedling in this entire book. He's got terminal weak sperm syndrome. Besides me, he'll never produce another tadpole in his lifetime. You gave birth to me, Mom. Later, those hundreds of billions in family assets will all be ours. Let him have his tortured love story with the female lead. We'll bury them alive with our money. My hand holding the water glass froze midair. Hundreds of billions in family assets. The only seed. I tossed the pill into the trash and absently rubbed my stomach. Kid, you should have told me sooner. Let's go claim your throne then. My name is Jiang Yu. And for 3 years I've been the caged songbird of Fu Myukan, the crown prince of Beijing's elite circles. Everyone in our circle says I'm lucky, that I was born with a face strikingly similar to Su Zhen's. Who is Su Zhen? She's the white moonlight shining brightest in Fu Myukan's heart. 3 years ago when she went abroad chasing her dreams, Fu Myukan found me, her replacement, here at home. For these 3 years, I've diligently played my role as the gentle and considerate stand-in, taking money to do my job without ever crossing boundaries, until this morning, Fu Myukan threw me a black card and said coldly, she's back, move out. Fine, professionalism I still have. I packed up my things briskly, stopping by the hospital to take care of that little accident in my belly. Who would have thought this accident would turn out to be a spoiler monster? Sitting in the taxi back to the villa, I was still processing that voice in my head. Mom, you're sitting wrong, you're squishing me. That milky little voice piped up again. I instinctively straightened my back, silently thinking, who are you? I'm your son. In my past life, You aborted me before I was born. This time, I've come back with a system. Mom, listen to me. Fu Mukin is just a tragic second male lead in this novel. The female lead Sujin doesn't love him at all. She just uses him as an ATM and backup. The male lead is Fu Mukin's illegitimate younger brother. The most important thing is, Fu Mukin injured himself racing cars in his youth. That's oligospermia. The odds of conception are lower than winning the lottery. I'm the one rare pearl he'll ever have in this lifetime. I gasped sharply. Fu Mukin looked tall and imposing, radiating the energy of someone who could go 7 rounds a night. Yet, he couldn't perform. He really can't. The little one in my mind declared solemnly. Even the doctors gave him a death sentence. He's lost all hope himself. Mom, think about it. When he finds out Sujin ran off with someone else someday and looks back, there'll only be us mother and child left. Won't all that unimaginable wealth fall right into our laps then? That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. This isn't pregnancy. She's carrying a gold mine. Returning to the hillside villa, Fu Mukin was sitting on the sofa the moment I stepped inside. That face was indeed handsome. Arched brows like swords, starry eyes, and a tall, straight-nosed bridge. Right now, he was frowning at his phone, probably waiting for Sujin's message. In the past, I would have timidly stood to the side, but now, the way I looked at him had changed. This wasn't some sugar daddy. This was my resilient little money-delivering angel. Why are you only coming back now? Fu Mukin glanced up at me, his tone impatient. Have you packed your things yet? I changed into slippers, steeling myself. According to the original plan, I should have taken the money and left by now. But for billions in family assets, the script needs rewriting. I hadn't even opened my mouth when the little voice in my head suddenly screamed, Mom, ignore him. He just transferred 50 million to Sujin to buy jewelry. What a spendthrift. Quick, play dead, fake a fall, collapse right in front of him. I was speechless. Though this trick is corny, it's genuinely effective, supporting my forehead. I swayed slightly before collapsing limply onto the carpet. Jiang Yu, Fu Mukin froze momentarily. Instinctively reaching out to catch me, the man's crisp cedar scent wafted into my nostrils. Quite pleasant actually. What's wrong with you? His frown deepened, though his tone remained cold. His grip didn't loosen. I weakly opened my eyes, my eyelids instantly reddening. Mukin, I feel dizzy. Might be low blood sugar. Bravo, Mom. The Oscars owe you a golden statuette for this performance. Tell him now that you don't want to leave. But don't mention the pregnancy. He needs to discover it himself. I sniffled and reached out to tug at Fu Mukin's sleeve, my voice as faint as a mosquito's hum. Mukin, can I move out a couple of days later? I haven't found a place yet, and I haven't been feeling well lately. Fu Mukin looked down at me. I never dared to meet his gaze like this before, always keeping my eyes lowered and obedient. Today I gathered my courage to look into his eyes, and surprisingly found a trace of guilt in this man's gaze. Well, after sleeping together for 3 years, even raising a dog would create some attachment. There's money in the card, isn't there? Go stay at a hotel, he said stiffly, trying to pull his hand away. Mom, he's about to pull out the wham bam thank you ma'am card. Quick, cry. Tears are a woman's ultimate weapon. Tell him you cooked him this last meal and want to watch him finish it before leaving. I rolled my eyes internally. Where did this little brat learn such tricks? But my mouth betrayed me, tears welling up instantly, plopping down onto the back of his hand. I know I shouldn't cling like this. I choked out, but I made soup. Your favorite lotus root and pork rib soup. Simmered just right, I thought. If I could just watch you drink this one last time. Then I'd go. Fu Mukin's movements froze. This man had one peculiar habit. Whenever his stomach acted up, he'd crave the soup I made. Truth be told, it wasn't actually me who made that soup. It was Mama Wang's doing. My only role was carrying it upstairs, yet he always believed I'd prepared it personally, and I never bothered to correct him. All right, stop crying. Fu Mukin helped you onto the sofa with some irritation. Finish the soup before you leave. Yes, first step accomplished. Auntie Wang, quick to read the room, brought over the soup. Fu Mukin sat at the dining table, elegantly sipping his soup. I sat across from him, chin resting on my hands, gazing at him with deep affection, though truthfully, I was just eyeing his outfit, that watch on his wrist, 3 million, that shirt he's wearing is haute couture. This is all my son's money. Mom, look at how he's drinking his soup. Doesn't he look like a fattened lamb ready for slaughter? I suppressed my laughter. Don't talk nonsense, that's your own father. What's wrong with my biological father? if he dares to leave the family fortune to that green tea bitch Su Zhen, I'll uphold justice at the expense of kinship. Just as he was drinking, Fu Mukin's phone rang, the special notification tone. No need to guess. It must be Su Zhen. Fu Mukin put down his spoon, answered the phone instantly, his voice softening so tenderly it could drip honey. Zhen, you're here. All right, I'll come pick you up now. After hanging up, he stood up immediately to leave. Mukin, I rose to my feet as well. I've got urgent business. Finish your meal alone. Without even glancing at me, he grabbed his car keys and headed for the door. Alert, alert. Su Zhen had no one picking her up at the airport. She deliberately tricked my dad into going, and the male lead is at the airport too. If dad goes, he'll just be a total fool. Watching those two embrace in the rain while he gets drenched. Mom, you can't let him go. If he does, he'll come back with a cold and fever, and then he'll give Su Zhen that plot of land in the South District just to appease her. That land will be worth 20 billion in the future. What, 20 billion? That's my son's milk powder money. I absolutely can't let this spendthrift give it away. Seeing Fu Mukin already walking to the entrance hall to change shoes, I acted impulsively and rushed straight over. Mukin, don't go. I wrapped my arms tightly around his waist from behind. Fu Mukin stiffened instantly, his voice turning cold. Jiangyu, let go, remember your place. I won't. I clung desperately to his waist, pressing my face against the expensive fabric of his suit. It's raining outside, the roads are slippery. I had a nightmare that you were in a car accident. I'm so scared. Fu Mukin was clearly stunned by my sudden outburst of madness. The Jiangyu of the past was so sensible she might as well have been invisible. She would never have made such unreasonable demands. He forcefully pried my hands away and turned to look at me, his eyes icy cold. Jiangyu, do you think I've been too indulgent with you normally? To keep me here, you'd even make up such lies. I'm not lying. I lifted my head, tears welling up in my eyes. I really feel panicked. Could you please not go? Just stay with me for 10 minutes. No. Even 5 minutes would do. At that very moment, a sudden bolt of lightning struck outside the window. Boom. Immediately after, torrential rain pounded against the glass. Fu Mukin's phone rang again. He looked down and saw a WeChat photo sent by Su Zhen. It was a selfie of her in front of the airport floor-to-ceiling windows, with a tall man draping a suit jacket over her shoulders in the background. That was his younger brother. Fu Mukin's face instantly darkened like the bottom of a pot. His fingers gripping the phone turned white at the knuckles, veins bulging. See, I told you, the little voice in his head gloated. The male lead has already beaten you to it. Su Zhen is sending photos to provoke dad, trying to make him jealous. Mom, quick, while he's heartbroken, give him warmth, give him love, seize control of him. Watching Fu Mukin's utterly devastated expression, I clicked my tongue twice in my heart. What a pitiful simp, truly heartbreaking to witness. I cautiously reached out and gently tugged at the corner of his clothes. Mukin, look, it's raining so heavily, driving would be difficult. I softened my voice. Besides, she already has company. Wouldn't you just be superfluous if you went? Fu Mukin suddenly turned to look at me, his gaze sharp as a blade. You saw? I hunched my shoulders. No, I was just guessing. He took a deep breath, tossed his phone onto the entryway cabinet, tugged at his tie, and stormed back to the living room with palpable irritation before plopping down on the sofa. Bring me a drink, he said coldly. Great, drowning your sorrows in alcohol, huh? As long as you're not going out to throw money away, what's wrong with having a drink? I went to the liquor cabinet and took out his most expensive bottle of red wine, pouring him a glass. Fu Mukin threw his head back and downed it in one gulp, his Adam's apple bobbing. Exuding a decadent yet strangely alluring sense of brokenness, I obediently sat beside him pouring his wine. Drink up, the drunker you get, the easier this'll be. After several cups of wine, Fu Mukin's gaze grew hazy. He turned to look at me, suddenly reaching out to grip my chin, his thumb stroking my cheek. Jiangyu, his voice was hoarse. Why aren't you more like her? I was speechless. Dude, if I were like her, I'd be the one stringing you along at the airport right now. Why would she do this to me? He muttered to himself, the corners of his eyes turning red. I gave her everything, yet she still chose Fu Zhe. Mom, the opportunity has come. Quick, ask him since Su Zhen doesn't want him, who's going to inherit those billions? Me, kid, have you fallen into a money pit? Asking that now would get us thrown out. Mu Chen, don't be sad. I sighed and decided to take the compassionate approach. her loss for not knowing how to cherish you. Someone will come along who'll adore you completely. For example, your son. Fu Mukun scoffed and released my chin. Your heart and eyes are full of me, more like you're after my money. At least he's self-aware. What's wrong with wanting money? I muttered under my breath. Wanting money means wanting the money you earned, which basically means wanting you. Fu Mukun froze for a moment, seemingly caught off guard by my words. He stared at me for a while before suddenly tilting his body and resting his head on my shoulder. Heavy as a hog, Jiang Yu, he murmured with closed eyes, his breath warm against my neck. Don't move. Let me stay like this a while. I froze stiff, not daring to move. This was the first time the billionaire golden goose had leaned on me voluntarily. Mom, don't just sit there, while he's drunk. Hurry up and cancel that abortion appointment. Also, grab his phone and see what that green tea bitch Su Zhen has sent him this time. I quietly pulled out my phone and canceled tomorrow's surgery appointment. Then my gaze fell on his phone lying on the coffee table. The screen happened to light up. It was a new WeChat message from Su Zhen. Mukun, I just happened to run into A's earlier. The rain's too heavy. I'm a bit scared. Can you still come pick me up? Reading this message. I laughed bitterly. This green tea act is truly masterful. First sending provocative photos, now offering sweet dates. If Fu Mukun saw this, he'd surely come running over eagerly. I glanced down at the man leaning against my shoulder, breathing evenly. No way. For the sake of my son's $20 billion land plot, I can't let him see this phone. I was just about to secretly turn off my phone when Fu Mukun suddenly stirred. He groggily opened his eyes, his hand landing right on the lit screen. My heart skipped a beat. This is bad. It's about to be exposed. Fu Mukun squinted to read the words on the screen clearly. I thought he would snap awake immediately, push me away, and rush out. Instead, he stared at that message for a long time, suddenly let out a cold laugh, and threw his phone to the ground. Snap, the screen shattered into pieces. Not going, he mumbled, burying his face back into the crook of my neck, his arm casually wrapping around my waist. So annoying. Sleep, me, kid. Holy shit, my dad's actually grown a spine. He actually rejected the female lead. The plot's gone off the rails. Mom, you've done great. Quick, help him upstairs. Tonight we'll make sure this cooked rice stays in the pot. No wait, the rice is already cooked. We're gonna weld this pot shut. I exerted every ounce of strength I had to haul this venerable Buddha into the bedroom. I had just thrown him onto the bed and was about to take off his shoes when Fu Mukun suddenly reached out and pulled me, losing my balance. I fell right on top of him. Our faces were now mere inches apart. His eyes, which had been hazy with drunkenness moments before, now seemed unexpectedly profound. He stared at my belly and suddenly blurted out, Jiang Yu, have you gained weight recently? My heart skipped a beat. No way. Can you tell after just 1 month? And no, not really, I stammered in denial. Maybe I've just been eating too much lately. Fu Mukun's large hand slowly moved downward and came to rest on my lower abdomen. That scorching touch made my whole body tense up. He pressed lightly, his brows slightly furrowed. Here, why does it feel hard, Mom? He's touching me. He's touching this young master. Quick, say it's bloating, don't slip up. Just as I was searching for an excuse, Fu Mukun suddenly leaned close to my ear. His voice deep and dangerous. Jiang Yu. What did you mean by that abortion appointment you just made in the car? My mind exploded with a deafening roar. He knew. How did he find out? Could he also hear the baby's thoughts? I stiffly raised my head, meeting his eyes that held a hint of amusement. Since you're carrying my seed. His fingertip lightly traced my lips. Why didn't you tell me? Planning to run away with my heir. Before I could react, the baby in my mind let out a sharp, piercing scream. It's over, Mom. I think Dad can hear me too. The air was deathly still. Fu Mukun and I stared at each other wide-eyed, while the little rascal in my head kept blabbering on without a care. Mom, why aren't you saying anything? Are you scared speechless? Hurry, kiss him, shut him up, just kiss him senseless, and he'll forget all about this. I stared at Fu Mukun's half-smiling face, feeling 10,000 alpacas stampeding through my heart. Kiss my ass. Kissing him now would be asking for death. Fu Mukun's hand still rested on my lower abdomen, his palm scorching hot, burning me until my whole body trembled. What's wrong? He raised an eyebrow, his voice deep as a cello. Afraid to admit it, I swallowed hard, deciding to play dumb to the end. Mukun, are you drunk? What seed? What air? I don't understand. Humph. Fu Mukun let out a cold laugh, then suddenly leaned down, pressing his forehead against mine. Close enough that I could count his eyelashes. Jiang Yu. Do I need to repeat myself? He stared into my eyes, enunciating each word clearly. Just now, a voice said I'm the devoted second male lead, a simp, and also, suffering from severe oligospermia. Holy shit, confirmed. Mom, run. He can really hear it. That damn man is so sneaky. He actually eavesdropped on our mother-son private talk. I closed my eyes in despair. It's over. All is lost. Since I couldn't keep pretending anymore, I hardened my heart and simply gave up. If you heard, then you heard. I pushed his hand away, sat up straight, and smoothed my disheveled hair. Since you already know, let's lay all our cards on the table. The child is yours, but I'm not trying to trap you. Suzhen is back, so I should step aside and make way for someone better. I was planning to abort this child anyway, to spare you the trouble. Fu Muken narrowed his eyes, the air around him instantly dropping several degrees colder. Abort. He repeated the word. His tone so dangerous it seemed he might devour someone alive. My child, and you think you can just abort it? Exactly, Mom. Stand your ground. The baby in your belly is the heir to billions. Dad, you too, even though you're a simp, you're still a domineering CEO. Could you tone down the aggression? You're scaring Mom. Be careful or I'll pull your oxygen tube when I'm born. Fu Muken's lips twitched violently. He took a deep breath, visibly struggling to suppress his rage. Jiang Yu. Starting today, you're not allowed to go anywhere. He stood up, looking down at me from his height. Stay in the villa and focus on your pregnancy. As for Suzhen, he paused, a flicker of complexity flashing through his eyes. See, still can't forget his old flame. What a scumbag. Fu Muken's temple twitched as he ground his teeth and said. As for Suzhen, I'll deal with her. With that, he turned and strode into the bathroom, listening to the sound of running water coming from inside. I collapsed limply onto the bed. What kind of mess was this? I originally planned to take the money and run, but now I'm stuck here. Mom, since we're here, we might as well settle in. The kid actually has a positive attitude. Think about it. Since Fu Muken knows I'm his only heir, he'll definitely treat me like royalty. We'll live lavishly here. And once he's done tormenting the female lead, we'll take over the family fortune. I sighed. Silly boy, the wealthy families aren't that easy to blend into. Early the next morning, I was lured awake by a tantalizing aroma. Going downstairs, I saw Fu Muken actually sitting at the dining table with a newspaper in hand, surrounded by an array of breakfast dishes, crystal shrimp dumplings, century egg and lean pork congee. Bird's nest, it's practically a royal feast. Awake. He set down the newspaper and glanced at me. Come eat. I sat down, feeling flattered beyond measure. Such treatment was something I'd never dared to dream of before. Just as I picked up my chopsticks, the doorbell suddenly rang. Auntie Wang went to answer it, and immediately afterward, a sweet, delicate voice floated in. Muken, are you home? I brought you breakfast. Suzhen. She was wearing a white dress with her long hair cascading over her shoulders. Carrying an exquisite thermal lunchbox in her hand, her steps were as delicate as willow branches swaying in the wind. Utterly pitiable and charming. Alert, code red, green tea bitch incoming. Mom, look at her face. Her foundation is thicker than a city wall, and those dark circles are drawn on. Who's she trying to fool with that pitiful act? I lowered my head to sip my porridge, pretending not to see. Fu Muken didn't move either, merely giving her a faint glance. What brings you here? Suzhen's eyes reddened as she placed the thermal lunchbox on the table. Muken, I was wrong yesterday. I shouldn't have angered you like that. I know you still care about me deep down, so I specially made this porridge to apologize. As she spoke, she reached to lift the lid of the insulated container. Ugh, that's leftover porridge from yesterday. She bought it from a street stall. I can already smell it's gone sour. Dad, whatever you do, don't drink it. You'll get diarrhea so bad your asshole will prolapse. Fu Muken's hand paused mid-motion. He looked into Suzhen's affectionate eyes and suddenly smiled. Bought from a street stall. Suzhen's face stiffened, her eyes darting about. How could that be? I got up early to make this myself. Simmered it for 3 whole hours. Oh really? Fu Muken leaned back in his chair with a faint smile. That manicure of yours must be quite durable. 3 hours of cooking porridge. And not a single gem fell off. Suzhen instinctively hid her hands behind her back. Muken, what do you mean? You don't believe me? Her tears came on cue. Her acting skills were far superior to mine. I just don't want to drink spoiled porridge, Fu Muken said coldly. Take it away. Suzhen stared at him in disbelief, as if she didn't recognize the man before her. The Fu Mukin of old would have obeyed her every whim, even if she'd asked for stars from the sky. He would have found a way to pluck them down. What's going on now? She bit her lip, her gaze suddenly landing on me. Jiang Yu, why are you still here? Her eyes instantly turned sharp. Didn't Muchen tell you to move out? I was just about to speak when the little one in my head exploded again. Mom, clap back. Tell her you're the lady of this house, carrying the future crown prince in your belly. Wait, don't mention the pregnancy. Make her jealous first, drive her crazy. I put down my spoon, grabbed a tissue to wipe my mouth, and flashed Suzhen a sweet smile. Miss Su, Mukin was drunk yesterday and couldn't be left alone. I only stayed reluctantly because I had to take care of him. You, Suzhen's face turned livid with anger. You're just a substitute. Have you no shame? Shame? I touched my own face. This face is all I need. After all, isn't this the face Mukin likes most? Suzhen trembled with rage as she turned to Fu Mukin. Mukin, are you just going to let her humiliate me like this? Fu Mukin leisurely peeled a boiled egg and placed it in my bowl. Eat the egg, good for your brain. Only then did he glance at Suzhen, his tone indifferent. Was she wrong? Since you've been gone for 3 years, there's no place left for you here. Suzhen felt as if struck by lightning. She staggered back 2 steps, tears falling in large drops. Fine, fine, Fu Mukin, don't you dare regret this. With that, she covered her face and ran out crying. Awesome, so satisfying. That slapdown deserves full marks. Dad, well done. I've got high hopes for you. I'll give you 10% of my inheritance for your retirement. Fu Mukin's lips twitched as he stuffed the peeled egg into my mouth. Shut up, eat your meal. Suzhen's tantrum didn't end there. In the following days, she kept stirring up trouble in various ways. One moment she'd post on social media about being sick. The next she'd share photos of drowning her sorrows at a bar, visible only to Fu Mukin. Unfortunately for her, she didn't know Fu Mukin had an ace up his sleeve. Every time she sends a message, the kid in my head starts live commentary. Dad, don't believe it, that's on a film set. She's playing a dead person. Dad, that's a stock photo. She's just wearing a face mask at home. Fu Mukin went from initial irritation to calm composure, even learning to play along with my son's teasing. That's some good Photoshop work. The floor's even crooked. This wine is fake. Not afraid of going blind from drinking it, watching these 2 men, one big and one small, coordinate across the distance, I actually found it somewhat heartwarming. That evening, Fu Mukin suddenly received a phone call. It was a call from the Fu family's ancestral home. Tomorrow is the old master's 80th birthday. Bring Jiang Yu back with you. After hanging up the phone, Fu Mukin's expression turned solemn. There might be some trouble tomorrow. He looked at me. Fu Zhe will be there too, and Suzhen probably will be as well. Fu Zhe is an illegitimate child and has never been favored, but his mother is quite resourceful. She's managed to win over quite a few people in the company these past few years. Since Suzhen chose Fu Zhe, she'll definitely use this opportunity to make it public. Mom, this is a major event. We have to go. Tomorrow is the crucial plot point. That punk Fu Zhe plans to make trouble at the birthday banquet and seize control of the company. We've got to go and hold the fort. We can't let that despicable couple succeed. I patted my belly and gave Fu Mukin a determined look. Let's go. We must go. I also want to see what that $2 billion piece of land looks like. Fu Mukin was speechless. The next day, I attended in full regalia. A custom-made red evening gown accentuated my fair skin, striking features, and long legs. When I entered the banquet hall arm in arm with Fu Mukin, all eyes turned toward us. Suzhen was indeed there too. She stood beside Fu Zhe, wearing a little white dress that made her look like an innocent white flower. When she saw me, a flash of jealousy and resentment flickered in her eyes. But she quickly regained that fragile demeanor. Big brother, Miss Jiang. Fu Zhe approached with a wine glass, wearing a hypocritical smile. I heard eldest brother hasn't been feeling well lately. If company matters become too much, this younger brother can take over. Fu Mukin looked at him coldly. No need for your concern. I'm not dead yet. Ugh, that bastard. How dare he curse my dad. Mom, look at those dark circles under his eyes. Clearly from overindulgence, and he wants to take over. His kidneys are weaker than dad's. I nearly couldn't hold back my laughter. Fu Mukin obviously heard it too, curling his lips into a mocking smile as his gaze drifted downward, sweeping over Fu Zhe's lower half. Fu Zhe felt inexplicably scrutinized, sensing only a sudden chill between his legs. Big brother, today's grandfather's birthday celebration. I've prepared a grand gift for him, Fu Zhe said confidently. I've already secured that plot of land in the southern district and plan to develop it into a resort. This is a multi-billion-dollar project, the surrounding guests gasped in amazement. That plot in the southern district, that's prime real estate. The second young master is truly talented beyond his years. Suzhen clung to Fu Zhe's arm, looking at us with pride as if to say, see, the man I chose is the best. Fu Muken frowned. He had been eyeing that piece of land for a long time too. Don't panic, Dad, let him buy it. It's a trap. That land sits atop an ancient tomb complex. The moment anyone breaks ground, the Cultural Relics Bureau will shut it down immediately. Whoever buys it will go bankrupt. Let him buy it. Let him be the fool. Fu Muken's furrowed brows instantly smoothed. Swirling his glass of red wine, he said indifferently, oh, then congratulations, second brother. Such a grand project. I wouldn't dream of taking what you clearly desire. Fu Zhe froze for a moment. He had prepared a whole arsenal of words to provoke Fu Muken into bidding. Intending to trick him, who would have thought Fu Muken would simply give up? This doesn't make sense, big brother. Are you really sure you don't want it? Fu Zhe probed tentatively. No, Fu Muken answered decisively. Since it's your filial offering, how could I possibly take it? Though Fu Zhe felt something wasn't quite right, basking in everyone's flattery soon made him float on air. The letter of intent was signed on the spot, securing that piece of land. Su Zhen was even more pleased with herself. She leaned in close and whispered to me, Jiang Yu, see that? This is Zhe's capability. Sticking with Fu Muken, you'll always just be an unmentionable stand-in. I looked at her with pity. Miss Su, I wish you both happy digging. I hope you'll still be this happy when we dig out the Zongzi later. The birthday banquet reached its climax halfway through. The old master sat at the head seat, receiving birthday greetings from his descendants. Fu Zhe presented the land contract as his gift, making the old man beam with joy and praise him endlessly for his accomplishments. It was Fu Muken's turn. He took out an exquisite box containing a string of Buddhist prayer beads. Grandfather, these were blessed at Mount Putua where I prayed for them. May they protect your health. The old master gave a faint nod, clearly unimpressed with this gift. After all, compared to billion-dollar projects, these prayer beads seem far too shabby. Su Zhen chimed in sarcastically from the side. Mu Chen, aren't you being too perfunctory? You're giving Grandpa this for his birthday. Fu Muken ignored her. Just then, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my abdomen. Ugh, I clutched my stomach, unable to suppress a groan. Fu Muken's expression changed instantly as he immediately steadied me. What's wrong, Mom? Don't be scared. The baby's just stretching. They kicked you. This is a perfect opportunity. Quick. Pretend you're having pregnancy pains. Tell the old man you're carrying his great-grandson. This is your get-out-of-jail-free card. The old man values descendants above all else. I took a deep breath and, leaning into Fu Muken's supporting arm, went limp against his chest. Grandfather, I weakly spoke up. I'm pregnant. Fu Muken immediately understood. He scanned the room, his voice soft yet resolute. Grandfather, Jiang Yu is pregnant. The entire room fell deathly silent. Even the walnut's old master had been rolling in his palms stopped moving. What did you say? The old master trembled as he stood up. Pregnant, yes. Fu Muken gripped my hand tightly. It's already been 2 months. Impossible. Fu Zhe was the first to jump up. Elder brother, weren't you supposed to be incapable in that area? As soon as these words were spoken, the entire room erupted in uproar. Fu Muken's impotence was supposedly a secret within their circle. Yet whispers about it circulated nonetheless. Su Zhen turned deathly pale. Muken, how could you lie to Grandpa about something like this? There's no way Jiang Yu is pregnant. She's just faking it. Whether it's fake or not, we'll know once we call the doctor. Fu Muken remained utterly composed. The Fu family had their private physician present, who immediately came forward to take my pulse. After a few minutes, the doctor clasped his hands with evident delight. Congratulations. Old master, truly congratulations. It is indeed the pulse of pregnancy, and the pulse is strong. It's going to be a big, healthy boy. The old master was so excited his beard trembled. Good. He repeatedly uttered 3 good s, reward, a generous reward. He pushed aside the contract Fu Zhe handed him and grabbed my hand with extraordinary warmth. My girl, from now on you'll be Fu family's greatest benefactor. Whatever you want, just tell Grandpa. Fu Zhe and Su Zhen stood aside, their faces dark as the bottom of a pot. We won this round completely, yay, we won, that coordination was absolutely perfect. Mom, look at that card Grandpa gave us. There's at least 100 million in it, quick, put it away safely. I touched the card in my pocket, my heart blooming with joy. My dear, you're truly Mommy's little money magnet. Ever since announcing my pregnancy, my status in the Fu family has skyrocketed. Fu Mukin treats me like fragile porcelain, practically wanting to carry me everywhere, but I've noticed his attitude toward me has changed. He used to be an aloof sugar daddy, but now, why does he seem more and more like a real husband? That evening, when I came out of the shower, I saw Fu Mukin talking to my belly. Little rascal. Did you give your mom any trouble today? I froze. Is this still the same aloof crown prince of Beijing's elite circle? Dad, I'm sleeping. Stop bothering me. Fu Mukin seemed to hear it and chuckled softly, reaching out to stroke my belly. Jiang Yu, he suddenly looked up at me and said, let's get married. I was startled. Huh, we already have a child. We can't let him be born out of wedlock. Fu Mukin took out a red velvet box from the nightstand and opened it, revealing a massive diamond ring inside. I wanted to wait until after you gave birth to say this, but I can't hold back any longer. He knelt on one knee, his gaze earnest. I know, at first, I saw you as a substitute, but after spending this time together, I've realized, I can't live without you. It's not because of the baby, and not because you can hear that brat's voice. It's because of you, Jiang Yu. You're greedy, you're dramatic. You love to complain, but you're real. Not like those people wearing masks. I stared at him blankly. A corner of that hardened place in my heart seemed to crumble. Mom, say yes. Hurry up and say yes. This is a pink diamond ring. It was bought at auction for 50 million, huge potential for appreciation. And although my dad has a sharp tongue, he's got a great physique. Plus he's rich. The key point is, right now he only has you. Where else could you find such a top-tier man? I ignored my money-grubbing son's voice in my head. I looked into Fu Mukin's eyes and saw sincerity and nervousness reflected in them. Fu Mukin, I sniffled. My bride price is very expensive. Fu Mukin smiled. He slipped the ring onto my ring finger, stood up, and pulled me into his embrace. My life and fortune, I give them all to you. Just as we were preparing for our wedding, Fu Zhe got into trouble, as expected. An ancient tomb was unearthed on that piece of land south of the city. And not just any tomb, it turned out to be an imperial mausoleum. The Cultural Relics Bureau immediately sealed off the site overnight, and the project was abruptly halted. Fu Zhe's investment of tens of billions went down the drain, the capital chain broke, banks demanded repayment, and shareholders withdrew their stakes. Overnight, Fu Zhe went from being the illustrious second young master to a rat scurrying across the street. Seeing the situation turn dire, Su Zhen tried to abscond with Fu Zhe's last remaining cash but was caught by him. The two got into a physical fight at the airport, trending on social media. Watching the news footage of their sorry state, I shook my head. The wicked will get their due punishment. TSK TSK TSK. This is what happens when you don't listen to elders' advice. Suffering right before your eyes. I told you it was a trap, but you had to jump right in. Fu Mukin turned off the TV and peeled an orange to feed me. Stop watching, it's disgusting. By the way, the doctor said the due date is next week. Have we got everything ready? I've been ready for ages. I rubbed my round belly. This little one's been much quieter lately, saving up energy. Maybe. No sooner had I spoken than a sharp pain shot through my stomach. Ow. I clutched my stomach as cold sweat broke out instantly. What's wrong? Fu Mukin's face turned pale with alarm. Mom, I'm coming out. Hurry, to the hospital. I'm gonna be the cutest baby in the world. Make sure to get the hottest doctor for delivery. After a chaotic flurry of activity, I was wheeled into the delivery room. Fu Mukin insisted on coming in for the birth. Looking at his face that had turned even paler than mine, I worried he might faint. Mukin, maybe you should wait outside. No, he gripped my hand tightly, his voice trembling. I'll stay with you. Several hours later, with a loud cry, a tiny bundle of flesh came into the world. Congratulations, President Fu, it's a baby boy. The nurse brought the baby over. Fu Mukin glanced at it and frowned disdainfully. Why is it so ugly? Looks like a monkey. Damn it. Who are you calling ugly? You're the ugly one. Your whole family is ugly. I'm just not fully grown yet. Wait till the swelling goes down in a few days. I'll have thousands of girls swooning over me. That familiar milky voice rang out again. Only this time, it came from that little chubby bundle. Though it was just incoherent crying, in our minds, It was clearly sarcastic commentary. Fu Myukin and I exchanged glances, both unable to suppress our laughter. With this little ancestor around, our home is going to be lively from now on. 3 years later, Fu Yunzhou, stop right there. I chased that little short-legged rascal around the house with a feather duster in hand. Mom, help, Dad's trying to kill me. 3-year-old Fu Yunzhou hid behind Fu Myukin, peeking out with his little head to make faces at me. You still dare to run? Who told you to fold your dad's documents into paper airplanes? I gasped for breath, hands on my hips. Fu Myukin put down his tablet, scooped up his son in one swift motion, and gave him a light pat on the bottom. You little rascal, making your mom angry again. Dad, I'm helping you declutter, Fu Yunzhou said in his childish voice. That document was a letter of intent for cooperation with Mr. Zhang. That Mr. Zhang is going bankrupt next week. Signing it would just mean losing money. Fu Myukin froze. How do you know that? Fu Yunzhou pointed to his head. The system told me. That's right, this guy's system is still there, though not as chatty as when it was in his belly. It still occasionally drops some crucial information. Thanks to his sons, spoilers, Fu Myukin has been unstoppable in the business world these years, multiplying his fortune several times over. The Fu family has completely risen to become the top elite of Beijing's high society. As for me, I've gone from being that humble stand-in to the envied Mrs. Fu. Alright, enough with the cheeky talk. Fu Myukin put his son down. Go wash your hands. It's time for dinner. Fu Yunzhou ran toward the dining room on his short little legs, winking at me as he passed by. Mom, Dad prepared a surprise for you tonight, in the backyard. Remember to dress up. My heart warmed at this. That little rascal. After dinner, Fu Myukin held my hand and led me to the back garden. The pitch-dark garden suddenly lit up with countless lights. The lights converged into a sea of stars, with a path paved with roses at its center. At the end of the road lay an enormous gift box. What's this? I asked Fu Myukin in astonishment. Open it and see. I walked over and untied the ribbon. The gift box slowly opened, revealing neither jewelry nor designer bags. Instead, it was a document, a share transfer agreement. Fu Myukin had transferred all the shares under his name to me and our son, Jiang Yu. He embraced me from behind, his chin resting against the hollow of my shoulder. I told you I'd give you everything, my life, my fortune. Now I'm truly penniless. From now on, I'll have to rely on my wife to support me. My eyes grew hot as I turned around and hugged him tightly. Idiot, fine, we'll keep it. It's not like I'm short on money. Not far away, behind a second-floor window, Fu Yunzhou leaned on the windowsill, watching his parents kissing downstairs, and let out a world-weary sigh. This generation of parents is really hard to handle, but, considering this 100 billion, I'll reluctantly play the third wheel. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.